አይስክሪም ይግል ላምጣ። ለምንድን ነው እንደ ቤቱ ስክሪንንም እንደ ቤቱ አንጋደዋል። ቤቴም ገዳዳ ነው። የደች ደች ሃውስስ they're like Dutch houses. You know how the Dutch houses are in Amsterdam? It's like that. It's like yeah. I find a spot like yeah that's yeah, that spot kind of thing. You know what I mean? Just like Dutch houses. Me also. I like to say I like to say that like Dutch houses. Today I have my Saudi Arabian citizenship jacket green for the Intifada. For the Intifada, I put my Arabian green for the Intifada. For the 70 something Intifada. Today I want to talk politics. It may violate the convictions and the belief system of man around the world. It may shake the very core of who people are and how they relate. So let's go about the Intifada. Today we will talk about the Palestino-Israeli war that is at full swing for about 78 years or so. And we talk about Arabs, of course. I like to talk about Arabs. The fancy, silky, the most selected silky dressing Arabs to the Yemeni kind of people. I want to talk about all of that. But here, I want to pause and ask myself, why am I interested in the first place to talk about this? Do I have a political interest or am I part of interest groups of any sort? The answer to the whole world is no, is the answer. I'm a lone wolf. I'm a proud lowlife, and I'm a proud atheist. Atheist is somebody who don't believe shit. I explain about myself. And I'm a proud lowlife too. Because high life is for this dirty people. Not it's a sign of intelligence. It's not. So you cannot you cannot measure intelligence and human quality just merely by the amount of money, the ability to make amount of money. Just look at and look at people who are rich. It's not that. The money making rules say itself. Chase your dream. So it has nothing to do with the quality of a human mind. Most people agree, most disagree. I don't mind. But what do I have to start? Palestino-Israeli war conflict. This war that pop out every 2 years, every 5 years, every 3 years, escalate and go down. No. Okay, let me start by that one. First of all, Arabs. Who are Arabs? It's not a blame game, but I'm gonna put my finger. And in this day, in this time, and on this video, the other 3 fingers are not pointing towards me. No, they're pointing towards somewhere else. I'm not like this. I'm not like that American thing. We want you kind of poster. I want you kind of American poster when you want to with this Yankee hat on him, Abraham Lincoln hat. You got that poster. We want you. The motherfucker used to scare me. Really, he's like a motherfucker looking at you. I want you to. Oh fuck! I want you to be a soldier. I want you that. Not that one. I put when I put my when I point my finger on people, I usually do my fingers because I also play guitar. The tip of my fingers point towards uh southwest, if you will. So it's not to me because it's real. Okay, here it comes. Who are the most financiers of perpetual war and and uh, perpetual war, religious war, and proxy war? Arabs. Who spend the most money in military? Arabs. Who spend the most money for chaotic expenditure and armaments and bullish stories? Arabs and Islam. I swear. who who killed the most Muslim people in the world? Islam. Who killed the most Muslim people in the world? Islam. I mean, not Islam, I mean, not religion, maybe the people themselves. Who killed predominantly? Who killed the dream of Africa in general, especially that of East Africa? Arabs and Muslims. Who are people who are very hard to discuss openly and to really transfer ideas? Muslim people, including including the famous Oxford graduate of Al Jazeera guy who make the debate program. He himself, except knows fancy English and got upload, and only Al Jazeera upload. Uh, who are the most outspoken people who stand for who have who have uh, what do you call it uh, concern? Chris Hedges, Noam Chomsky, Chris Hedges, Noam Chomsky, uh, the Labour Party leader George Galloway, uh, Professor Cornel West, uh, Noam Chomsky, Professor Cornel West, Chris Hedges, George Galloway, mm, and more people. People who come up with some kind of morality and some kind of integrity kind of story. Now I want all these people to be my viewers and share a story that I know and that they know. Actually, I'm not gonna tell them anything new because these people research a lot and read a lot. And I'm not concerned about how much they know. I'm concerned about only the issues they pick. I'm not a pro Palestinian or a pro Israeli. I really don't give a fuck about both of these people. I really don't give a shit because integrity must be on the basis of knowing the real world, not just by being some kind of biblical nice or Quranic nice kind of thing. Not by being far from the reality, but by being true to yourself, knowing the character of the world, how countries are composed, how Europeans do things, how America is, how Israel is, how Arab people related, how they influence other places. After you look at all the complication of the world, then you come to judgment. Then I respect your intellectual integrity. Then I say this intellectual is deep thinker. Then he see all the angles before he come try to be a nice guy. You know, I can say a lot about Iranians. I can say a lot of things. A lot of things are wrong. European, Western kind of measures affect Iranians as a whole. I can see that. I can say that, and I can say vice versa. It don't matter because that is real. But if you see a specific, stories of any kind, yeah, how Saudi relate with other people and how powerful places relate with Saudis. The Saudis have uh, responsibility, plekta, and they have something they can do, and there are something that they are supposed to do by the West. Every country is like that. That's how the world relate. Every each country is that's how they relate. As far as I know, for example, in Iran, there is so many sanctions on Iran. It may not be fair that the world accept that because the West is powerful, because they have to do a certain thing to be accepted by the West. It may not even be necessarily that they do it, but yet they may be they may come up with another reason that they fail anyway. You know, because maybe they are more with the Saudis or anything. Also, the Saudis they give oil, they get some kind of protection and positive relation with the West. You go on and on and on. Some do, some don't. Those who do, we know, is United Arab Emirates, Saudi Arabia, and Qatar comes up because Qatar is close to Oman and Iran. So they have some kind of tricky Algerian kind of wiggy ziggy, but they also Americans have also their fleet, their military shit there. Turkey is a member of NATO, but at the same time, Turkey is a very, very outspoken, especially by the regime of Erdogan, a really opponent of the West because Erdogan think the West harbors uh, Abdullah Gulen, that is the opponent of his ass. Uh, you know, and if you see the whole circle, there is Islam, and Muslims can be one family if if they have to deal with something else, some any other element other than being Muslim and Islam. And then you have how they relate, how Turkey relate with Saudi, how Turkey relate with Iran, how Iran relate interrelate relations of each individual nation within Islamic kind of republics, from Pakistan to Turkmenistan to Kazakhstan to the Chinese kind of people who are Islam, who trace their roots all the way to Turkey. During the Ottoman Empire, Turkey, you have a big territory, and the people have the same DNA kind of thing. You see in their face, you see in their cooking, you see in everything they do. Kazakhstan, Turkmenistan, you can Pakistan, can citrus, Afghanistan, like that movie and that funny movie, American movie. Oh, where are you from? You know that nigga. Pakistan, okay, you can stand it, citrus up and down. You know what I mean? So we know how the word is composed. We know, especially this the Palestinian dice is always thrown for all people to come together as one. I mean, undisturbed, to shout on Israel, to shout on the state of Israel, and to shout on the West, and to shout on any motherfucker who would have a slightest inclination to say, wait a moment, but what are these people anyway? What do they contribute for the survival of the Palestinians as people? because in the world we are not new to conflict and war. To me, integrity starts with valuing a human life wherever it might be, without no bias, to see it equally. There starts integrity to me. Any integrity, I don't give a fuck if you are Cornel West, if you are Chris Aegis, if you are Noam Chomsky, if you are some kind of Jewish wizard or Islam wizard. I don't give a fuck. To me, the one thing that humanity, human beings as a whole, we should have that integrity without bias, that every human life, every violation on human right and human life should equally be condemned. I mean, this is a number one thing that me, I cannot go with about, I cannot go uh, uh, to discuss with people. I mean, no, not in a million years, because to me, integrity is just to be a voice for the voiceless, wherever that might be, wherever the character of the chaos, be it perpetual war, proxy war, any kind of war, any kind of war, any kind of human violation of human right and human life, the right to survive, must be treated equally. To me, so long as I live in this world, as much that I heard a lot of stories, that global stories really interested me, because not only you seek for it, but it is pushed into you with media and with people and all. The Palestinian story is a story that it becomes a household name for media. This is just known. But there are times that one of the parties push it to the point that the media has to really vibrate the entire fucking frequency with that. Except that, to me, ever since I was a little kid, this Palestinian story is intact. A lot of stories come and go. The Tamil Tiger story, this rebellious story, this country. There are leaders, names of leaders I remember in my country. The Iran war. Maybe I'm not that time. I don't remember the Iran-Iraq war. No, but the Gulf War. The Gulf War I remember. When we were kids, the Gulf War was, the first Gulf War, not the second one. The second one I already know. You know, so we know. But this Palestine war is, even the way it is portrayed in media is different. It is the measurement of inequality and injustice and unfairness, and this thing that put deep rooted hatred even by the most elite uh, 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 scholars and intellectuals, like the names that I mentioned, very well known, outspoken, well known people. If you see Galloway, if you see George Galloway, if you see this a Jewish guy himself that he lost his grandpa with Holocaust, he's a university lecturer. You know, he's a pro-Palestinian kind of guy. Noam Chomsky, you name them. I mean, these are the most outspoken ones, but there are a lot of. And the guy from Al Jazeera, the program debate, Oxford graduate. I mean, we know all these people. But except this Al Jazeera guy, he's also critical on Saudi Arabia and stuff. He's really Qatari politician. He's made from the right wood to fit Al Jazeera Qatari narrative. A little bit different, but in general, these are the people. They are more flattering the Palestinian youth and the Muslim, uh, youth, to liberate the Islam youth, kind of, because it's nice always when people clap for you, but you don't really give a fuck, or You don't really think like, really I'm helping Palestinian people, because me, I feel like instead of people clapping for me saying popular things, this populism, popular thing, you know, sometimes, okay, when people clap for me and when all people really down with me, yeah, you are a hero, you are a liberator, the coolest guy. I rather also think like, if there are people that I'm talking about that are victims, really, even at this moment, I have to make sure that they're safe, because every kid that get killed or that may get killed by my moves or by my any political interest or some kind of paranoia, I may save one kind of child, I may save one kind of situation, I may contribute to a positive outcome of something than just to put you know fuel on a fire, kind of thing. I think that's the normal psychology, not really to get swallowed in this popular kind of thing. When you are in demonstration, and when you wave a flag and you are part of some kind of crowd, and especially when you are the outspoken guy of that crowd, especially if you are resume and integrity. Okay, but see how, for example, Turkey. I never demonized Erdogan for being radical Islam. Not radical, but exercising Islam in a serious manner and speaking against the West in the way he do. This is who he is. This is how his party is, how he want his country. I don't care. It's not my concern. And I don't think by itself inherently that is crazy or that's abnormal. I don't think like that. I rather see people who say we are Muslim behaving like that, because Islam have a serious story on its doctrine, rather than Islam, but they don't do nothing. It's better actually. But Turkey as a nation, the way they use these Palestinian dies to talk their own pain against the West, that's a little bit tricky to me, for example. And when I say this, I'm not on the side of Israel, that I feel like, be it where I come from or some kind of political thing we get from them. Some people in Africa, we don't have that psychology. We don't do that. We don't do that, because we have seen a lot of what you people talk in a realistic term, knowing even your influence have done to our entire existence through ages. We develop this tough skin that we don't become biased. At least if I don't speak on behalf of other people, I speak on behalf of me. Black people have this problem that the pain of their own children is less painful than they see other light-skinned people pain. It is imprinted through media. It is done through media and through their own experiences. That is real. Even other people give more fuck. For example, common Arab people, not when it comes as a revolution, but common people. They may be Arab or Chinese or white people. They see horrible situation. Look, this black kid, than black people, because black people, when they bring baby, even most of them are just like, God will raise him anyway. Don't worry. That's how they. The negative part of who we are, except the pain we get through other political moves of other nations in place. We have that weakness. And I think Arabs capitalize that thing of African behavior. You know, I think. So what I mean that I don't take side. I'm not pro-Israeli, pro this, pro that. I just put on the table what I understood in this world so far. Because this Palestinian dice to me is a unique dice, is a diamond dice for Muslim brotherhood around the world to throw, because the dice is in the house of Israel, which is, the name Israel. Any Muslim would wish this kind of people be wiped out. As much I think Israelis want Palestinians not to be there. I think they wish if they are not part of that equation. I mean, probably, I think the only wish for Israel as a state to exist is if these Palestinian people disappear a long time ago, that they are no more concerned for their sovereign kind of kind of place. And I'm also aware that 20% of Israel senior Mossad members, senior ministers are from Morocco. They are Arabs. 20%. They are Arabs. Israel itself. I know that. Most people know that. But every time this Palestine dies, the diamond dies, is taken, the entire world will be engulfed. As if I never saw any war around the world. As if I never saw any atrocity. You know? It's like every atrocity should be spoken, including this one. Is maybe fair. And media do it somehow. But no, the story of Palestine is really unique. I think because it has also some kind of religious factor of this Jerusalem story and this golden mosque kind of thing. And Israel claimed that city, and the Islam claiming that city in the story. I think and that is one of the reasons that I say religion actually is a recipe for the big chaoses. Big chaoses can only come through religious divisions because people, the population is neither this or that. It is either this one, I say neither, either this or that, or something in between. You see, so if there is a fucking big war, a reason for big war, interests in global wars, one of it can be religion. Religion can easily fuel that kind of. So I don't know what if religion is evil or good. It's up to religious people to think about it. I think they know it's evil, but they are part of the evil that nurture their ego. Because religion claim truth, monopolize truth. That's how I see it. Otherwise, how could Turkey be a member of NATO if they are hardliners and outspoken people? I mean, Turkey is a member of NATO. NATO, North Atlantic, means if anybody tamper with Turkey, all Western nations have to defend Turkey as a state. It don't matter if it is Kurdistan, if it don't matter if it is Syria, it don't matter. In a Syrian war, there was a lot of interest groups and political parties in armed groups fighting, including I remember Turkey was accused that they were helping ISIS group. Western medias were telling us there was some kind of ISIS group, kind of this black flag people. They say they were supported by Turkey and supported by Israel at the same time. Imagine how media spin stories. You remember people when they were telling us, by the time this black flag, these people, they holding people on the way to be refugees, they cutting necks and slitting throats and shit. And most of them European trained, ex-army, Dutch army, ex-army from Germany, Britain, famous rappers. They go there. There was some kind of, they make a real clip there, Wild Wild West clip they make there. But this one, it was real. And people say, yeah, and in that time there was these Kurdistan people who were really playing victim and making noise, and you see with a lot of lorries, dead bodies of Kurdish people, ISIS people. You remember that time? Saudis were accused of, primarily accused of ISIS. Both the boys and the finance come from Saudi, and all the pickups, cars are from Saudi. Turkey, they say they get caught smuggling the ISIS boys to get into Syria. You remember the time? I don't forget this. A lot of European television occupy this story. Look, Turkey, Saudi Arabia, and Israel being accused doing the same story. Israel was accused by harboring and giving a medical assistance to ISIS. European uh, humanitarian kind of group called the White Helmets helping the ISIS boys because the war was against Assad. And this was 6 years ago. Forget about Arab Spring. I come how they hunt each other from Arab League, from the House of Arab League, all the way to the battlefields involving European NATO flying jets, which some of them demonize the Clinton people. When the American ambassador was killed in Libya, you remember? I will come to that. This is a media narrative. I didn't make it up. Because when I watch media, before I talk, I read a lot. I will hear without discrimination, taking 24 hours, every fucking media you could think of, till I get hurt. My eyes get hurt. I'm telling you, for years I do this. Not a journalism graduate can do what I do. I have no mercy for myself. Not a single media I miss in how they narrate. Mainstream media like Russian TV, Turkish TV, TV5, France 24, BBC, Al Jazeera, CNN, Fox, MSNBC, all newspapers, all Dutch TV, everything you can think of. Liveleak.com, when I see live videos as they happen, as they unfold, all stories you can think of, all oil companies who get involved. What was the scramble? It was because the war with the Assad. Imagine that moment now. Imagine you are in that moment and you only get back 5 years to this situation. And now they come and they tell us now, again, they take the Arabian dice. Again, they pick that Palestinian dice and Israel against Palestine. And then all of them, they come as one family. Iran, then Islam get unified. That's why I'm not a pro or against. That's why I say Islam people all over the world. Ask yourself as people, if you have integrity in how you play the political arena of the world. You're part of the political arena of the world, major players. Ask yourself in how you behave, in how you relate with West Europe, and how you want to benefit to have upper hand using even European and American industrial industrial complex, military industrial complex and negotiation. Ask yourself who you are. For example, when somebody tell me, hey, America, stop giving this Israel because they don't know how to manage their weapon, they use it against the innocent Palestinian people. Ask yourself why you don't protest when America weapon Egypt with all the weapons you can imagine. Why America weapon Saudi Arabia? Why don't you ask the same question? At least Israel, by far, they have religious affiliation, a lot of affiliation. I mean, the fact that America, not in truth, but in media narrative, they involved in the Second World War is not because the war is in American soil. No, because so many movies, so many things. Because Jewish were victims of the Nazi story, the Holocaust, blah, blah. So ever since that, if you see the Protestantism of America, it is nothing but a supporter of Jewish. So it's not puzzling that America weapon Israel, because to ask this question is funny. Some kind of Arab people come out, they buy weapon from America. Erdogan asks F-35. And America say, no, I don't sell it for you. But he is a member of NATO. No, you have already what NATO have. Enough. I cannot give you exactly what I have. So he go to Russia to make them angry. He go to Moscow. Erdogan go to Moscow, and Vladimir Putin. He sometimes he tease him. Actually, Vladimir Putin save him that time. They shoot a Russian MiG-29, some kind of groups in Turkey, and then Russia was an intense situation because Russia was fighting then the entire world on their own, because Turkey, Saudi Arabia, Israel, all of them were supporting anti-Assad thing because they want to swallow Syria and make it some kind of Sunni kind of Islam, because they think this guy is Shiite, and the Iranian were helping them. And Iraq is predominantly now is more Shiite than Sunni after the fall of the Ba'ath Party. Then what the fuck happening there? Who are you people then? You know, the reason that you don't have a say. For example, yesterday I was in a demonstration, in a Palestinian demonstration. I was just sitting in, I didn't know there was demonstration, but I just go there and I was just looking at the crowd. And the crowd was a tough crowd, was really crowded. A lot of demonstration, but every time there is Islamic issues, the crowd is much in Europe and in America. They have some kind of brotherhood, integrity, all of them. And some political motives and political leaders. From Holland, for example, one Suriname woman and one Turkish root kind of Dutch parliamentary. His name is Kuzu. These two come up. And there was also one Indian guy commenting on them, why you do nothing when why you didn't make such noise when they literally wipe out millions of people, starve millions of people, you know, to a magnitude that humanity didn't see for 40 years, except the poverty and the famine in Ethiopia. The second thing in history that is really not being told is this Yemeni story. Why you didn't say nothing? Why you are not noisy? I mean, the Yemenis are not Islam enough. I think I share his idea, even though I'm not really hardliner like, oh, there is nothing being done to Palestinians or in Palestine. That's not my approach. But you cannot be blindfolded and say, yeah, no, this is a unique case. Why? Why it is Yemeni children has Palestinian children, Yemeni children? What's the difference? If you talk about Islam, to me, Islam starts in Yemen, not in Saudi Arabia. No, it is not Bedouins who are Islams. No. Both the people who chased Prophet Muhammad, the Al-Qurayshi, and the other side, were in Yemen. The people now you call Sunni, Shiite, and Sunnis is a modern name, but everything originates in that area. But if I mean, an Indonesian Islam has nothing to say except he's a convertee. If you talk about really how religions go to places, there is a certain way that some religion, you know, is fermented somewhere and it get transported and it develop that way. You know, it conquers places that way. That's how I. But where is the integrity then? Is a reasonable question. Yesterday I was just watching videos on Facebook. And I know this thing like Indians support Israel, Palestinians, of course, they are Muslims, they're on the other side. I know how the world is divided into religious and interest groups, but if you try to really come out from that and be fair, it include all famous intellectuals, then I want to see that, because you cannot look. I cannot see in the near future that a state of Israel don't exist and Arabs will win. I don't see either that Israel completely get what it wants in the near future. I don't think either. So this thing is, it is being used as a political kind of tool this Palestinian issue for so long. But you can't imagine. Okay, is it a way that Israel will be out of this calculation? It's impossible. Nobody can do that. Not because I have some kind of religious story, rhetoric of religion, or a promise people. This no, I'm not a religious person, but just seeing the truth in the world. I don't think Israel is something you tamper with and you get away with it, because there are other players who get involved. Obvious, obvious. So, are you planning just to use Palestinians to negotiate money? And if you are outspoken people, just by flattering the majority of Islam youth and Islam population around the world by touching their button, so that hey, he's like Professor Cornel West or like George Galloway, yeah, the guy, the real guy who took for truth. Because you have supporters, you have money, you have assembly halls that you took. I mean, I confront people even from my background when it comes to politics, what their final goal is. You have to have a goal. You have to have some kind of you want to achieve. You want to be done. Then I respect you. Otherwise, if you use a certain political issue just for your survival or to be noticed or whatever, then I think you are a trash guy as much other people are. As much you demonize other people, the same way I'll look at you. Like the same way I see these rude kind of right wing kind of people who think they are superior and other people are inferior. The same way I see you, but your character is different. So all of you are trash. But if you come out of this and see the possible outcomes, what's gonna happen in this Palestine-Israeli relationship, if you have the upper hand, gradually but you surely, you will secure your interest, and that will happen. And throughout history, that's what we learned. America was predominantly horse riding, what so-called Red Indians place, but after 200 years, it become predominantly white, and even the white itself start to fight the French, the British with the Native America, blah blah, civil war, blah blah, and then America, after 400 years, it ended up to be a multicultural place where Latinos, black people, white people, Indian people, every kind of people live. It's transformed. But 400 years ago, you might not understand the world will unfold to be this, because you probably see only Red Indian, what they call Red Indians, sorry, but the Native American they call them, or white people when you see white people, because people are not predictive. But when you predict, the Israel-Palestine situation will unfold in such a manner. As much you see different kind of situation change within Islam, within boundaries, things change gradually. So you may better make your struggle worth a struggle. You know, I think you have to be really far-sighted, not short-sighted. Like you cannot change things. There is nothing new under the sun. But me, when I see these nervous people who are very hard to talk with, and they only go and talk with their peers and with like-minded people, and it usually I'm never been interested to talk with such kind of people. But this is this dirty politics and media narrative, how it comes so far. If you see just the narrative of media and how what kind of chase they were playing in such kind of country. For example, in the Syrian war, literally people thought Israel, Saudi Arabia, and Turkey are working together to take down Assad. Yeah, maybe because the Golan Heights situation in Syria always been antagonistic against the state of Israel, because Syria is backed by Iran, Assad is backed by Iran and Russia. Okay, in Turkey they have a situation of the Kurdistan, you know, to have their own state, and they really don't like that Shia state because predominantly the Turkish are Sunni Muslim, the Saudis Sunni Muslim, and they have interest to back off the Shiites because Iran and Syria is a Shiite competitor, and they are swallowing Iraq because Iraq Sunnis play victim after the fall of Saddam Hussein. You see, three different actors come together to hunt one guy. Then Islam was not powerful, but but whether you sell it Shia or whatever you sell it, Syria is an Arab League member. The same thing they did to Libya. North African Arabs hate Middle East Arabs. They hate them. In Europe, they fight for interest and for kebab houses. They don't think we know that because they think we are low life. We work for them. And this bunch of animals, bunch of pigs, they call themselves Europeans. Some of them, I'm not insulting the entire European. They have such a way of, putting people, these guys, they have a level, you know. This is my favorite butler. This guy's a nigger, always there. They have some kind of looking at people. But we observed it. They hate each other. I saw these Arab people stabbing each other in a refugee camp. In a refugee camp. I swear to God, Palestinians, they hate Kurd people. Kurd people, they hate them. They tell Kurdish people are socialist, communist people. But I know Kurdish people are Muslim people. Predominantly, they are Muslim people. But they have another way of survival, like even they use their female as military. But now, even in Arabian countries, there is a a Pakistani woman who fly F-16. you know, there is a Pakistani female who fly F-16. But when it comes to Kurdish people, they tell them, yeah. Even I remember when the ISIS shoot the Kurdish people, they use female because they have a belief system in Islam. I think maybe in a radical kind of, not in circular Islam, that if a girl shoots you, then you go to hell. Kind of thing. So the Kurdish people, they say, okay, I'll send you to hell using the female, kind of thing. But I know all of them are Muslim because I know people personally also. You see, this is what is in their house. When people are not really clean within their global brotherhood, how you can stand up with them if you have really integrity without, before you correct who they are? You correct how they share oil fields. You correct how they relate with themselves. You correct how they create proxy war and these wars that keep on going, perpetual wars they create. Where is Chris Hedges then? Chris Hedges is an intellectual that I admire. I love his English. I listen to his English. Every column he writes, I want to read because he's a good, he's a graduate of this. I speak also like this because I want common people also to understand what I say. I can make my English more, you know what I mean? But okay, but even you see intellectuals, you can question them. What is the integrity? The integrity must be in the higher human value. If you say, moral decay of this society, American society, and then okay, before you stand with people, if you don't have any financial interest or you really have to be backed by something at least to say the things you say, kind of thing, why don't you be real? Me, before Noam Chomsky or Professor Cornelius, before they talk about the right of Palestinians to survive, before every comedian like Trevor Noah come out and tell me about how I should fight with a skinny guy kind of story, you have to understand how they relate, how the people you want to stand for their survival, how they relate with each other. Because we're talking about human history, human story. I don't think you can exaggerate the power of Israel and the people who say we are Jewish people, we are chosen by God kind of people. To me, human being is a human being. I don't give a fuck. So I expect the same integrity and the same discipline from other people. So why I only question because someone happened to overwhelm the power and use some kind of mindset and discipline to overwhelm them, even though they are many. For example, Egypt is weaponed as much as Israel today. Turkey is weaponed as much as Israel. So why everybody say Israel? Why America give weapon? At least Israel have some kind of religious ties and historical ties, and a lot of affiliation that you see that you don't want to accept. Our fucking Cornel West and Chris Hedges themselves, they are Baptist Protestant, and they know how Protestant church takes side with Israel. It's a promised land for them too. It's only Jewish if they back up that their promised land and sit in the nights, the older people in America, they can chill. Not when Assad control it, or if Saudi or Palestinians or Egyptians control it. Okay, what about Morsi? When Morsi come, there was a popular vote. You choose Morsi. Egyptians predominantly are Islam. They choose him before the bread become expensive by Jewish people or by intelligence, whatever. Whatever happened, come Sisi. So why the Egyptians topple Morsi? Because they say, Morsi say, some kind of land should be given to Palestine. Palestinian people hate Egyptians. Egyptians hate Palestinians because Egyptians want to be this European safe, highly equipped kind of rich country. They're ambitious people. They have the most greedy kind of society in them. I know these people personally. You know, they have some kind of tribe in Egypt. They die for money kind of people, business people, whistle ass people. Morsi tell them, okay, give them to Palestinians. They stop smuggling food for them, this for them. Palestinians hated Egyptians, and the vice versa. Is that didn't happen? And Morsi didn't come up and say, okay, now I'm gonna give, if I become president, even after he become president, he said, I'm gonna give Shala wa Shalatin for Sudan, for these two places. And then they topple him. He mess up with the sovereignty of Egypt. He undermined the sovereignty of Egypt. They topple him. They killed him in prison. That didn't happen. Which kind of place Palestinians and Syrians are accepted in the Islam world as human beings, leave alone as refugees, as human beings? Well, in Lebanon, didn't the Syrians cry blood? They didn't cry fucking blood, the Syrians, in the way how they treated in the hated Arab world. Syrians, including Sunni Muslims who are evicted from Aleppo. People that I took personally in camps, traveling the world. I was in Switzerland, I was in Sweden, I was everywhere. This is the investigative journalism you cannot fuck with. Because I have my record in my brain, I don't write shit. But every time when there is this Israel story, and then you unify, like you forget who you are. And then I say, which kind of is his sane brain? Whether you're George Galloway, whether you're, a tenured professor or not tenured professor, I don't give a fuck how many movie you got behind your ass. I don't give a shit. I respect you. I know you because I follow you, because I'm drawn to your kind of ideal. But have you really, go and look at this kind of people? Who are these people? Do you know how many people lives a perpetual war and proxy wars? Do you know how much disaster and trouble it creates for humanity? And do you know how many lives are lost with this kind of perpetual wars? What you call perpetual war, perpetuated in proxy wars? Or do we have to see when the death toll is high, then we have to think like, okay, this is out of hand. So this human life is no more interesting to talk about. No, the apartheid, we only have to talk apartheid. Because apartheid, as we know it, for example, Trevor Noah family or in South Africa, there is demonstration. That demonstration is knowing the harshness of apartheid. What a human soul. Me, myself, I tell you, if I see an Israeli soldier pushing an Arab woman like she's a girl or scaring children, really, I get irritated. If I am there, I can even fight with the Israeli soldier. I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about that. We know what we feel when we see unjust or some despicable thing. Because I'm not gonna push old woman and I'm a trained soldier. I know that. We're not talking about that. That is part of touching the button of human spirit, if that human spirit is intact in its integrity. I know that. But the world is a messed up place more than that. No, yeah, Trevor, no, I come and tell me, yeah, imagine you are a muscle boy, a skinny boy, how you retaliate. No, it's not about that. It's not a child game. This monstrous war industries and how this demography is made in, yeah, or you forget what happened yesterday, and then you start a new narrative. Every time a media narrative, and then the most outspoken ones, those who become millionaire pretending, or those who become millionaires being funny, or whatever kind of sense of bitches, you come in and talk silly stories to be loved by people. So what you're actually doing is using Palestinian lives as a weapon to be famous, as a means to be famous, because it's always lovely when people think you are. Yesterday I was walking. There was this Palestinian rapper. I never saw him, but I guess that is the case. I think that's the case because I can guess. I have a very forensic kind of brain. A tall guy who dressed black, and I see people coming, hugging him, taking picture. I feel jealous. Man, people they hate me like they look at me like this, and there are people who want me. I don't give a fuck if you are a famous Hollywood guy walking Amsterdam next to me. I'm not gonna say take picture. I don't give a fuck. But people, they are always like that. You know, there is some kind of phony music industry, so some fucking celibate should come and then take picture, bro. No, I feel jealous, man. I wish I'm loved like this dude. And people, he's a tall guy. Most probably because there was a Palestinian demonstration, probably he's a rapper who touched that button, with clips and with his lyrical things or whatever. You know what I mean? What I mean by that, do you want to be on the spot that people think he got integrity? He's not with the power and with the money, with the power that be, but with the people who are victims. Do you want to be called that, or do you really want to feel the pain of people, wherever they might be, whatever the character of the war might be? Do you know right now there are a lot of places at war and a lot of people are being done wrong, and the media narrative only bring it when it has to do with these proxy makers, proxy war makers, if it's interests them. For example, Al Jazeera, they talk what's going on in Ethiopia only when it suits their narrative, or they want to disintegrate and balkanize that place. Imagine how people get frustrated. See it from the point of view of African people who really understand politics, not your trash as shit, you know? So don't think people comment on you just because inherently they are pro-Israeli or they support Israeli. There are people who have religious affiliation who believe really on the doctrines of religion, that they say, yeah, this is my promised land. I am Christian. I'm with Israelis. This kind of people, they exist. But you also have to understand people who have nothing to do with this, but who understand politics, and how many millions of people through decades and decades and perpetual wars, how many people are lost. So why is Palestinian life is special than other people? A Yemeni life is not a logical question. It is a logical question to me, because if you stand with true integrity, you will not have 1 hour. You won't rest 1 hour, because the world is a messy place, unfair place, full of perpetual war and proxy war that really affects people, and take maybe a population equivalent to all Palestinian people from from the creation of life, way before Bible and Quran. That much people are dead in Africa because of Arabian politics, and they know that, and they have the audacity to accept that is real, that is normal. This is people who really understand politics and perpetual wars, how they are created, how the world is divided. You see, I tell you when I open this video, I'm not a hater. I swear to God, I have no reason just to hate Arabs. Why would I hate this? I hate that. But what you do, what you are, not only your narrative. Why the world has to be concerned only with 2 million people, and the world can kill 10 million people somewhere else? Then you have no rest. You would be shouting like a dog the whole day, like me, because you know what is going on every corner. You know. So I know why the South Africans know the Brits and the Dutch and the apartheid regime there. They understood that. And Palestinians, their struggle even started there. A lot of Palestinian journalists, intellectuals, before the Palestine thing, because they know this is coming, they were supporting the South African cause and African nations with all the pain and the things that they know, especially East Africans. They never take side with Israel as a state, including Ethiopia, including King Haile Selassie, who say, I'm a descendant of a Jewish thing, because predominantly Orthodox Christian is a Judeo-Christian kind of thing. They topple him at the last of his empire thing because he say, no, it's not good what Israel does. Palestinians' life should be respected. That was always been the thing of Ethiopia. Even when all you people as a state, I don't mean about religious groups that the Islam always use the Palestinian and the Christian may side with this, because this religious naivety is killing the world. That's why I hate you, sons of bitches, you religious people. I hate you. I hate you. I don't hate anyone like religious kind of people. That hate, I should be given the right to hate that much without discrimination. Because religion blinds you. It makes you monster, but you accept. You want to narrate that monstrous thing you have as beauty because the religion tell you to do. And then you become you come with another narrative like, oh, God create everybody. God create us from nothing. If he kill us, okay. If we are born like decapacitated, fucked up, and suffer and die, it's his will. If this, you have every kind of verse to talk shit. You know, if you say so, then tell me Palestinians, this is their destiny to suffer. If people destiny is to suffer according to your religion, why you fight for it then? If you have integrity to fight for justice as intellectuals, I can understand. But as religious people, you cannot even fight for justice. Why? Because you say everything is a will of God. So it's a will of God if Palestinians have to suffer. So why do you ask me if I'm disgusted by religious people and their moral and their explanation of it all? All religious people claim everything is a will of God. God knows when you're born, when you die. Even if you are careless and you have a car accident, they tell you, okay, that is the day that God already set for your ass. You are born before you're born, He knows you reborn, predictive kind of thing God have in this demagogian world. And this narrative, if it suits them, when it suits their narrative, they bring this one. Otherwise, no, you have to fight for your right. God uses you. If it's Jewish, God uses David. If God has to fuck and kill a husband and fuck a woman, it is with David, you know. And then all David has to say is sorry. That's why a Muslim guy, he can kill you, chop you, and he has to say sorry. Allah, sorry, 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 I am wrong. Well, then he go to heaven. So a human have like 100 years to live. Then he fuck he fuck up his whole life for 100 years. Before he dies, he say, God, sorry, he's in heaven. It's a joke, man. It's a fucking despicable joke to me. Otherwise, No religious people. If you are religious people, you are Christian. No, you don't need no fucking action. Just live like people in monastery, peaceful. No matter what they do to you. And if you're usually if people are poor and they live with all means, it's unlikely they get killed if they don't have another demand, including the case of Palestinians. But human beings are not set that way. They demand, they want to eat, they want to drive, they want to save money, they want to progress. That is the factor that make people clash in the first place. Otherwise, I don't see people get attacked in monasteries, except in Ethiopia. Because monastery, nobody cares about you live somewhere else in the mountain. Who cares? Nobody come there. Actually, all religious people should be that because they say everything you see that happen is happening by the will of God, including the suffering of people. If that is the case, then the people you claim they suffer is by the will of God. So accept it and just live. But is that the truth? No, everybody want to be a winner. That's why the British pick this song called the British, the biggest empire ever from a small island, you know. I rather be a hammer than a nail. Yes, I could. I'm sure you would, sons of bitches. And that is the psychology of Arabs. They always want to be hammered, not by being creative and by creating bombs, but by buying bombs and creating proxy wars. Why, if you are a Muslim with integrity, why don't you talk about that instead of uh, taking uh, side? You know what was all integrated Islam attitude when the war was in Libya? What was your idea when the war was Syria? Didn't the Sunni Muslim people want to rip the meat of a Shiite in the vice versa? Only one time in a year in Makkah you are united. And only you are united when it comes to this Israel. Why? Because Israel is not like African nations that you can bleed their entire generation. You decide in their future. You tell them what to do with the resources of their country. You tell them what to do, where they shit, where they fuck, together with European support, even. You know, Egypt bullying Ethiopia with a weapon that is predominantly American weapon. So who are you? Who are you when you don't want Palestinians to cross the border and live in Egypt? When you are Palestinians who come from there, all Egyptians are Palestinians. People never say that. Some of them get married with African tribes. And predominantly when they colonized Sudan, their number one priority was to colonize just Sudan and use the resources, not because they like the black people. There are black people in Sudan. There are Egyptians who look like me. If I tell people who don't know me I'm Egyptian, they believe me. There are people who look like me who are Egyptian. The most people you see, light skinned, these Arab looking kind of people, they are Palestinians. They cross Africa and they say the pyramid is us, this is Egyptians, blah blah. They start to dig and sell. But they are Palestinians. Morsi is a fucking Palestinian, but he's Egyptian. When I say Morsi, is to refer to someone that you already know. But all Egyptian, you see that what you call this puta American politics, you see Egyptian is they are not Egyptian refer to the civilization, blah blah. It's not true. It's not true. No language is trace, nothing there. Only fake historians they already cook and they make professor he come bullshit. When he see brown color, he say no, it is fertility, it is not black bullshit. Bullshit. So this world is trash and bullshit because it has double standard. Is bullshit. If you ask to be weaponed by, you see, if you say American is an evil empire, and if your name is Erdogan, why you ask F-35 to bomb who? I don't think you want to bomb Russia because your life will be boom. That's over. I'm not fueling or I'm not taking side, but you are really annoying if you really see it. Me, I really don't hate Turkish people. It's not that. It's just the politics you play and the brotherhood you have is annoying. Like, why you ask F-35? Who is a threat to you? Iran? Who is a threat to Iran? You know? And do you love Egyptians? You don't love Egyptians. You don't love Egyptians. Don't love you. All of you have a scramble and a scramble of resource in the sea, a scramble of power. If not even resource, just macho bullshit. I am the big guy. I'm the strongest guy. Kind of thing you have. No human race in this world is except you. Because others, for example, Russians, I don't see them bullying around. Now they become even negotiators, but they don't bully people, but they have science. They have nasty bombs, nasty, nasty things they have Russians. White as a driven snow. You see, they're not like me, but I like them because they make a situation where they don't get tampered with, not buying from somebody, but they make it. How could I hate people like that? Imagine a dumbass motherfucker who buys stuff from the same, and when it don't suit him, he say he's the devil. America is the devil. I say because I'm not buying shit from America, neither from America, because I may believe that's not how humanity should relate. Whether you disguise the story with boundaries, blah blah, my country, this country, no. If you demand F-35, if you want a war machine to outsmart other people to crush them, then don't talk about devil and you say I'm Islam. Because you're not making it. You say, sell me F-35 to America. And you turn and say, America, fuck you. You sell this to Israel, you give to Israel. Uh, I mean, what kind of funny people are you people, man? You know what I mean? To me, I mean, let me be honest. This is not how politics works. I know politics is complicated. That's why I tell you, a media, at least the media narrative of what was going on 5 years back when the black flag was waving. Yeah? Why I raise that issue is not because it is relevant to what I'm saying, you know, but imagine if these people concerned was really the safety of Palestinian people. First of all, they don't go above diplomacy and relation with Israel in such a manner in the first place. Turkey, Iran, Saudi Arabia, none of them. Syria, even Syria, no. Imagine after what happened in Syria that Syria priority is to hit Israel. It's not really proper. Okay, it's predominantly is a Shia story is backed by Iran. Okay, the same proxies in Yemen. But you see who they are? And imagine a religion that encompasses such kind of behavior, borders and people and influential people telling you, come, be Islam, be Muslim, is peace. You will find peace. No, I'll find money and sugary food. Maybe. No peace. This is not peace. Leave alone my own trouble and what you have done to brown people, to Habesha people. I'll take that aside because we are more spiritual than you will ever be. Me personally, without the religion, I'm more spiritual than you. My lifestyle, in the way I think, in the way I do. That I tell you. You know? And I tell myself sometimes, what is these people? What I think they talking about? Imagine you go to America. You don't only ask six grade, six generation kind of this. You know, my speech are not Europeans because I'm crossing their business stories. I'm touching their but Europeans and Westerns are more agitated by such kind of broadcasting if I'm well known, but I'm talking to myself, than these Muslim kind of people. Why? Because I'm touching business buttons. I'm touching real thing. I'm not really, scratching the surface like these intellectuals, fancy English, blah blah. Want to be loved by you know uh, marginalized society, and I get everywhere I'm in crowd. The crowd tell me, yeah, bravo. You know, like a rock star concert. I be jumping on people. No, do you really want to think about Palestine? Why don't you Saudi Arabia, Iran, Iraq, Iraq, all of you who talk with the truth, yeah, just put your rice in camel meat and shit and fight Israel. Then you see the world will be on fire. You know that. You know that the world will be over. No golden dome, no iron dome, nothing. The world will be over as we know because the world will be really set on fire. And most probably it will be a war that's gonna take days. It's gonna take days. That the West, together with Israel, they're gonna tell you, okay, fuck it, the game is over. I think most probably that will happen. I think that will happen. I don't think the China, Russia, they will get involved in things get to the Third World War. No, but there will be some kind of war, you and the West, and that is fucked up for you people. I say Muslim people. When the fuck you gonna think for Islam people, for your children, for your woman? When you gonna think? No, this is not nice. We have to devise a system, not to be to cry Israel, Israel, and we do because these people they will never leave you alone. You have to know that they have interest. There is Israel state. I don't think they are thinking anytime soon that the Jewish people come to West again and abandon that place. I don't think they have a plan like that. I don't think so because I know what people. I know what people. Why people they don't give you okay this part? No, they want more. They don't want you around there. I know that. I know that is as an instinct. I know that it's not going. I don't think it's going to happen. If it happened to me, whether Israel as a state, some kind of state, didn't finish this fucking story, you know, to let us forget the atrocities of other places, this media game, or okay, Israel, no state of Israel don't exist, and you people, it's okay for the world because the world is big. The world is not that stony, mountainy, dry, fucked up place where there's no water. That you needed water from us anyway. All this time you're playing with money, selling benzene, and setting the world on fire. Now you needed water. Now you want to make us victims of perpetual war and ethnic thing using this idiotic religious kind of people. Literally their head is covered. It means you're blocked. Your mind is connected with the word and you block it with some kind of stuff, or I don't know. I don't want to insult, but this is crazy. Why don't you be open-minded and say, man, I don't give a fuck if you are Arab, if you are Christian, if you are this, if you are that. No, everybody has the right to live. Religion has to be something personal that we take for granted. Die for your religion. If somebody tamper with your religion, or if somebody don't allow you to be who you are, that's something else. But to think only in religious terms when you know you are wrong is not okay. And I think these European intellectuals are foolish by not starting dissecting what you are in the first place to stand for. You to stand for Palestinians, I have to really see what you people are, how you come up together, like music concert, blah 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 blah. This show shit and using youth. The youth is always fire. Fire age. Sacrificing them for you, and you are 78 years old, but you sacrifice them, boys. It's not nice. It's not nice. How many people have to get killed? Think for them. Why? A child is born, you create him. Why he have to die? Or it's just like Assad said. Okay, in Aleppo, I remember when people tell me in nigger, he killed all the children, then they bombarding with this shit, with that shit. And Assad say, they say that, I'm not sure, but they say, Assad say, no, these people are destroyed children, they're fucked up children. We make nice babies. Buzz, what party babies? No, that is, this Assad family have his own party or not, you know? That kind of nice babies. You people are fucked up babies kind of thing. Now, before you change the hate you who you are always telling, these people are doing to us, these people are doing to us. Which people are you doing to you? Let us open the door and the weapon you have. I mean, the strongest military in Arab world, Turkey, Egypt. These are the two, and Saudi Arabia. These are the three. Pakistan, the fourth. Where do you get all the weapon? Where do you get all the weapon? What kind of global deal you did to get that Western weapon? You tell them they are devil. When Iran say devil, they are telling Turkey you are a devil. When the Ayatollah Khomeini come out and say America is a devil, then he's telling you Turkey is devil because Turkey is a member of NATO. And he telling Saudi Arabia is a devil. Is that not? And it, I think that's the thing. If you weapon the devil weapon, I mean, how could you be then you're neutral, you're something else, you have your own kind of power, and you're telling you people are wrong. I don't want anything from you. I don't buy anything from you. You are wrong. Then it's impossible they conquer everybody because everybody is weaponed with something else. No, it's a political move. Palestinians are nothing but sequel, a reason. Palestinian is some kind of group of people. You don't like them when they live in your country. You don't like them. You don't think they are intelligent. You don't think they are always busy doing something. There was this guy, a Jewish guy who want to make Palestinian kids like Israeli kids. He teach them violin. Israel accept 20% Arab people are in Israel. It's predominantly multicultural. They even bring villagers from Ethiopia, villagers from Morocco. This is Israel. But who are you? You don't even accept your own. Most people say that. I'm not the only one, but is that not true? Tell us it's not true. Don't tell us, fuck you, you're talking bullshit, fuck you, monster. No. Is that not true or not? Are Egyptians not Palestinians? Let us take every Egyptian light-skinned blood, and if it's not Palestinian, you kill me. You kill me. I give my life to you. People kill me. All Egyptians, light-skinned Egyptians, are Palestinian people. That's what it is. Morsi knows it, so he paid the price. That's the truth. When people tell you truth, why don't you accept? Who are you? Who are you? If you think America is devil, why you buy weapon from America? They don't even sell sometimes for you. For example, Erdogan say, give me F-35. They tell him, no, we don't give you. You already NATO. Don't worry, we take care of you. You are a bridge. Just play with us. So he play Muslim Brotherhood. He's only playing Muslim Brotherhood. Because that war show who a true face, a true color show that ISIS emerge of ISIS show the true color of what nations are, what their primary goal is, what their priority. That war show me because I am investigate journalist. You see me in a refugee camp, you see me everywhere. You see me everywhere. I ask people, common people, refugee people. I see Palestinians and Syrians and North Africa, Arabian people hate each other so much. I didn't know they hate each other so much, and I don't understand the reason. The hate is not normal. I mean, I never knew human beings can hate each other that much that they stab each other to death. And people don't know that. People think Arab League, Arab people, these big guys, they come together. And the Saudi king telling me, hey, Gaddafi, you are big mouth. I'll finish you. You'll finish it. Those things people see. But after they come out from that Arab League, they don't know what is going on. The people are blinded and the TV is fucking pounding stories on your ears 24/7. You don't really know. At least you don't even understand the narrative of TV. At least that is enough. The lie is enough for who they are. The lie is enough. You know, Lebanese people, they're like French colony. They want fancy bitches, fancy L'Oreal Paris, blah blah. These are Lebanese. Go to West Africa, take some diamond, sell it in New York. They're just that. There is this fucking British kind of accent king, King Abdullah. Yeah, dude. These Western European bitches, their pussy is sweaty and wet. Arab face with beard and this shit, a light skinned bearded guy. Lawrence of Arabia. This is the world you see. Do they like Palestinians? Palestinians look like them. They have the same voice. That's why these fucking people, multicultural people, blah blah. It's about some kind of music kind of entertainment kind of show. Not really you care about those people. I don't think you give a fuck about them people. Me, I think more for Palestinians than you because I want some kind of negotiation that these people don't get bombed. you know, I prefer that approach. I'm not negotiating smartly for Israel because I'm Israel. I don't give a fuck about Israel. I'm not Jew. I don't give a shit. But that's what I see. I'm not like Trevor Noah, childish. I want to be loved. I want to be comedian for always. I want my Islam ticket. No, not that. Just it's not like that. It's not how the world treat other people. What do you think? This is not how African people are treated. But Africa, as a nation, always they have morally right. They say no occupation, no this. They say this. Even they say this, knowing this that the proxy is made by them. They dominate Africa together with Western colonialist agenda. They were doing that. You see Moroccans fighting European war. You see Moroccans fighting European war and they are proud. Algerians the same. Hmm? Algerians the fucking same. Egypt was a colony. Still they are colony. That's why they boast. Hey, this country, shut up, because they know America back them up. The same people, they have some Arab League. They come and say, Israel, Israel, Israel. You know, it's annoying. It's annoying. They want Palestinians to be victims every time so that they have a say. They have to say something to the West. No, why don't you take down the big lion, the big monster by your own? Actually protecting Palestine instead of putting Palestine as a means to protest your own stories. Why don't you sell F-35 from me? Hey, fuck you, America. And the other Shia, he say, oh, fuck America is shaitan. If we shaitan, then your brother, your Muslim brother, there is a shaitan because he buy weapon from there. So where does Islam find itself then? And Islam, without the believers, it don't mean nothing because you need people for Islam to be there, there must be people, Muslim people. So what does that leave you as Muslim people? What does that leave you? What you're talking about? Can you be as honest as me? Do you have this content on media? No. But the intellectuals, the so-called, pretty English and a 5-minute trash is on TV. Yeah, expert. This university expert, Middle East expert. Tell us a story. Trash. It is called trash. That's why me, when I go somewhere and I see demonstration, I sit and I watch. That's all right. Yesterday, for example, accidentally, I usually walk that street. When I walk, I come across a demonstration of some African ethnic groups, some this guy, some that guy. I go there. Primarily just to take fresh air. I go there. I saw this crowd, a really crowd. I sit, I watch, I contemplate. This world, this fucking sick ass, crazy world. And then I walk a little bit far, and then I see 5 white people, Dutch people, using holding Israeli flag. 5, 6 people. One of them was on a wheelchair, and on Dam Square, and the biggest square in Amsterdam, then there was this packed Palestinian youth, a lot of people for Palestine, you know. And then, yeah, if I have to tell my story, this is gonna be my story. My story will be for people like people ask me, hey, better watch yourself. Don't put the blame on anybody for what is happening in your life. I want this thing to work for other people. And intellectuals, before they stand for someone to have integrity, you have to start with the truth. You have to fucking start with the truth. Actually, the truth is uh, mainly the truth is that this is how Muslim people behave in this world. They are mean to each other. If you are mean to each other, if you are competitive with each other and mean to each other, how people listen to you when when you point your finger to another party and you see this guy is mean. I mean, what else do we saw in Syria? We saw the Syrian war. We saw the Syrian war. A Syrian war is not a targeted, okay, this is Al Jazeera building. That's not what I saw. I don't mean this is right. I don't mean this is right. But when I see what how Israel shoot, it's like a dynamite, a very calculated engineers who take down building to build something new. Like the New York. In New York, they say no, that fucking shit is not really by a plane. They probably put dynamite before that. And it is a Jewish operation, a Saudi operation. We saw Jewish guys walking around in New York after that happened. Kind of this stories all you hear because I for stories, be it private or ministry. Just like that, they shoot, boom, the building fall down. But when I see a Syrian war, what Assad does, what this rebel group do to each other, what ISIS group, what you have done in Syria, I don't see. Of course, here and there may be Azidi people, other components, or some other people, but most of them are Muslims. It don't matter is Shia or something. What have you done to each other? And you tell us as if this is the worst monstrous thing we've ever seen in the history of the world. Why you narrate it that way when we saw a Syrian war? What have you done in Syria? What do Assad do in Syria? And what do you do to any people you consider Assad people? What was that civil war? How nasty was that civil war? You don't think for your children, you don't think for the infrastructure, for the houses. You just destroy 20, 30 billion dollar worth of a city to rebel. Your own. Look what the Saudis and the Iranians are doing to Yemen. Who are you people to talk about peaceful stories and exaggerate what is happening in there? When I see they target two buildings just with needle precision, they hit the basement and the building just melt down. That's what I saw. I'm not saying it's real. I'm not saying apartheid is good. Discriminating people is good. No, no. It unnerves me when I see a Palestinian woman, older woman, pushed by a strong soldier. I don't think it's normal. I'm not saying, but look at yourself. Look what Egypt conspired on and what it considered its enemies. Look what you have done to East African people. Look who you are. I rather burn in hell million times than to be Muslim. Me. Even among all religions, I rather burn in hell million times than to be Muslim. After I saw how cruel you are to each other. That I tell you. Without a shame, without fear, I tell you that. I rather go in hell for eternity million times than to be Muslim like you people are. What about that? Based on this truth that I saw, not I make up for argument because I'm this religious guy. No, no, as a human being. After what I saw, what you have done to each other and to other people, I rather even be a Jew. Hmm? I mean, to me, if there is proxy war and nasty war, It's only Middle East that come to me. That I know the conspiracy, I know Western influence, I know Western people direct involvement, I know all that. I know all that, I'm not denying that. But who are you basically? How the Northern Africa Arabian people relate with the Middle Easterners? What is your competition? Your eyes don't bleed when you see these fucking filthy ass Middle Eastern Arabs? Didn't you kill each other with impunity? Didn't you hate each other like fuck? Jealous each other like fuck? Jealous each other like fuck? Like no human being is like you. Not white people don't have this character. Russians don't care about these Western puppet motherfuckers. They can have their own. They can dig out diamond, they can dig benzene, they can dig fuel, they can make nasty bomb, they can do anything. Why would Russians jealous about these pederasty, these homosexuals? They don't care about them. If they made fit with them, they fuck with them. Finito. I'm not white, I'm more like you. But I love people like that. Because they tell me, no, nobody give me, I make my own. If they blow me up, I blow them up. Finito. I respect this intelligence. Most of you even, they say, yeah, bravo Russia, if you think like, yeah, it works on your behalf, you know? Or bravo America, even America, if become America monster on others, for example. If America have a foreign policy that it don't really violate the sovereignty and the peace of Arab people as a whole in Islam, yeah, if they have such kind of foreign policy, rather they want to eat Africa together with you. They will eat black Africa with spice. They will eat. You will eat us raw. Evict us from our place. And that's number one project you start in Ethiopia. This ethnic politics together with Western people. And you people want to be lovely and you want some kind of like a stupid nigger, like this fucking retard nigger. I stand with you, huh? And work with this Palestinian girl, Arab girl. You think I'm such kind of heart I have? No, man. No way. I'm disgusted by mean people because cruel people are cruel to themselves. When I see how cruel you are to each other, how you kill each other, how you hate each other, I cannot be part of you. Because then I have to choose. I have to choose, or I have to be Shia, or I have to be Sunni, or I have to be Egyptian, or I have to be Turkish, I have to be Kurdistan, I have to be this, I have to be strangled myself because you are not at peace. It's all about oil fields, interest, familia, mafia. You motherfuckers are mafia. But if you come on the street and you try to try me or whatever, I ignore you because I know how Europe works. I used to fight with you. I used to be mistreated by this Dutch police and shit. I don't go that. I tell you on my channel what the fuck it is you are really. I'll tell you who you are. I don't give a fuck. But I'm not pro-Israeli, I don't give a fuck about what people, you people, I don't care. But that's the truth. And this is something that Noam Chomsky, blah blah Miski, blah blah Bisky have to listen. This is actually, this broadcasting is to tell these people that we follow the story as much they do. They don't need any other secret than this. This is the truth. And how you relate, the media narrative is even true in how you relate, but they don't portray it that way. Al Jazeera portray there is some kind of devil called Israel. No, you are devil to each other. You are devil to each other. How many bombardment Israel does in Syrian war? How many a direct bombardment Israel F-16 jets penetrate through? Maybe 10 times max. How many times Assad blew his own people and you people try to destroy the country itself? How many times? How many times? Then who are you to point the finger on this Israel kind of thing? Israel, you know them, they're a friend of America. They are a friend of America. And if there is any American component who play against Israel, you see what happened to the American ship. To the American ship, they blow it up. If there is any upheaval in America that play against Israel, the Israel intelligence will blow it up. They can blow up White House. That's how much complicated the stories are. What are you talking about? So how you can save Palestinian people if you think for them, for the children? Because you create the children. They didn't tell you create me, papa, mama. No, you create them, and it's like you are addicted to hold them when they die. How many times you write this nasty novel of tragic novel? How many times you have to write nasty tragic novel? When you come out from this fucking shit and you say, okay, we have to fucking forget our this fucking demagogian book, and you have to make sure our people become safe. You have to create some kind of safety net, because an enemy is always an enemy. Why don't you do that? You don't do that. You use Palestinians as a means to protest, to talk about your own wounds, to relate to that internal thing that you have as nations, as people, as demagogian leaders, as what Assad said to Erdogan that time. Assad tell Erdogan, yeah, this dude, he want to be like the representative of Islam Brotherhood. He want to be a big guy. Yeah, how do Egyptian look at Turkey? Me, I don't represent the country I come from, and because of this Nile Dam dispute between Egypt, because Turkey could probably choose side with Ethiopia. That I see Turkey. No, I want to talk with Turkish people, not with Erdogan, because Erdogan is one guy. Tomorrow he go. But as people and as a nation, as people, they have to think how they relate with other people. Not because I see, and especially in this episode, I'm not tricking you like usually I trick you sons of bitches and I put you in a ditch. I put you in a ditch because you only hear not my intent, what I want. No, that's not what I'm doing in this episode. Is because yesterday I happened to see the demonstration. That's what I want to tell. Just look at yourself. There was this Ethiopian dude who broadcast. He's a very pro-Palestine, pro-Israeli guy. Yeah, he was telling stories, and most people demonize him. But I say, wait. Not be always on this popular story, populism, populationist, blah blah. No. Calm down and see actually what is going on. People, this is what the fuck is going on. People gonna give a shit about people's life, but imagine me, I don't want to be used like a playing card. Some white people, some religious people play me as if I'm a subject of their competition kind of thing, the disgusting thing you see on the street. Because it violates my psychological, I'm not calm when people play a funny story using me because I become victim with that game. No, I want my problem to be solved and to be safe. If I'm a Palestinian, I want a politician that do that to me, not not use me to cry on media. Some bitch will come with hijab, as if only there the world is wrong, only there. No, this is fucked up. This is not integrity. Like that Indian dude say, it is selective kind of cry. It is they have some kind of term, you know. You select some kind of spot suits your political narrative and you come up and the kuzu, you come out and you say in a Dutch parliament he tell us, no, I'm not Turkish, don't tell me Turkish, I'm Dutch, I'm a Dutch parliamentary, blah blah. And yesterday he come out, what he do was he talk with that hooligan. What Kuzu does is talk with this hooligan, with this Carter Wilders. This right-wing hooligan, it's like he have beef with him, but they are not articulate and they don't say it in a TV show and tell you this is the complication. They don't tell you the stories what I tell you. No, this is one side, the other is one side, and then you have Rotterdam, Amsterdam, Jewish, blah blah, Feyenoord with Ajax. Human story turned to some kind of groupings and silly thing. The real suffering of people, conflict, it becomes a subject of football game, you know, you know, spots where you're welcome, where you're not welcome, clubs where predominantly these music predominantly have this attitude. You see how they divide the world? Such kind of sick ass, silly ass, sick ass world I live in it. And every time you see me, bow. Because I don't give a shit about you nonsense of bitches. I don't give a shit about anyone. I said, all of you, you're not interested to nothing except telling your narrative. You know, if you are a YouTuber and you talk Palestine, Palestine, I know all the Arab boys, they give you thumbs up, thumbs up. So it's money making. Plus, you feel like internally, you feel like, yeah, a guy with integrity. But how long you gonna use Palestinians to show that you have integrity and and demonize people like me who tell you no, I'm not pro-Israeli, I'm not Zionist, I'm not anything like that. I don't feel like I will be comfortable if I have a power by abusing other people. That power will give me a comfort. I don't think I have that thing in me. I know my nature. If my comfort come not violating other people, it's fucking comfortable and I test it. I know that. With little money, with relation, I know that. But you motherfuckers, actually you love comfort if only if it comes by the suffering of other people, like this Egyptian psychology. Their comfort is only comforting if it comes primarily by the suffering of other people, because it has this superiority thing intact in it. These idiotic people supported with these Palestinian people who who are by the Nile Valley, and this European uh, human story uh, violators call them Egyptians. Every American kid want to be Egyptian. He don't know what is the real Egyptian. This fucking white trash. This American white trash. He don't know. They never tell them the real story. They have big universities to lie for children. Then when he see pyramid, he think is a fat Palestinian who did that. It's not true. It's not true. And I tell you the fucking truth. And most Egyptians who are open-minded, they know it's not the truth. Only this fat ass motherfucker who think he know the truth, get nervous on television. Oh, boo, 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 boo. I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die. We are from heaven. We know the secret of the earth. Oh, blah, 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 blah. Oh really? Oh, really? I swear to God, I tell you who know the secret of the earth. If Americans don't weapon you, if Americans don't fucking weapon you, Chinese will make you a prostitute. All of you, including us, all of us. Chinese can make now, in the way they are coming, Asian people can make you a silly prostitute for them. If this America don't exist and take all the Air Force, all the fucking, no frigate, nothing, no Air Force, no Marine, nothing. Boom. If they take it away from you, you'll have a big XXXL bikini and miniskirt for Chinese. Which secret you know? That Asians don't. This fouling up this historical narrative that we are the wisest, we have the old civilization, like this ultra blah blah American conspiracy theorist, historian slash historian bullshit. Every culture, every people have civilization, and they show you evidence, not a legendary story. Mouse. No, Indians can show you who they are. Chinese can show you who they are. And as I'm African, I have to respect. If I'm a real historian, if I have to know human civilization, I don't have to talk about what I think is mine, because theirs is also mine. Because we're all humanity. That's how you have to think. You know, try to admire other people before you say, I am this, I was this. No, admire them for their achievement, admire them for who they are. Then you are open minded intellectual with no bias. You know, you use this silly kind of people on media to boost you up. Yeah, number created by Arabs, these Arabs, Cosmo. What you have now? What you have now? Conflict, bullshit. Every time you say America, America, why you weapon Israel? How foolish it can be. It's like, don't give this man bread, give only to me. I mean, anybody, a person like that will be loved, will be loved. Is this how you measure us when you watch us from a camera and how we relate? For example, if you see a person taking one bread and he want another bread, he want to another bread, and the other guy have no bread, is that what you like? Yeah. So why Erdogan even insulting them? Why he say give me jet and tell them give jet to Israel? For example, American people they don't give jet to Israel. The intellectuals in America are Germans, Nazi Germans leftovers, and Jewish people, the writers. They have scientists there. Like there are Arab scientists in America, Indian scientists, they have scientists, but they never forget about their background. Like you people are. Like when you come to the West, you make your own kind of shops and the shit, you make your Arabian empire. They do. And they outsmart you. You are jealous. Nobody hand them. They make the drones. They are known by making drone before Turkey make its own drone. Who make that? Israel make the drones. Now Turkey can make their own drone. The only thing they make is the drone. Okay. So why you say America give Israel? Which scientists from America come and make for Israel? America is nothing but a part of Israel. These fucking Jewish people are white. They are white. Not only white, they are red. All the kingdom in Europe, you see, they are red. Like in Britain, like in Holland, you see the royal family, they are not even white. They are more red. You have to be red to be royal. No, not white is not enough. You have to be red. You have to turn really. What kind of stupid people are you people? Can you say you go to a friend, you are an outsider, you tell him, hey, don't be friend with him, be friend with me, not with him. It's a joke. You people are jokes. You expect them America to say, yeah, yeah. And then Elan Omar gonna write a letter to Republican Party, those women that Lebanese woman, and Bella Hadid with her husband, with Ethiopian husband, they're gonna send you a big bomb, nasty bomb to wipe out Israel. They're gonna give you America. Are you expecting that? You think in America is Bella Hadid model who make bomb? No, man. By making things worse, don't lose a chance that they're gonna sell nothing from you and weapon Israel more. That I'm afraid. Because it's dangerous. What you see is like me, I cannot tell white people, oh, please, white people, take me as white. They see me like I am, but I tell them, please consider me as white. How is that possible? Hey, Israel, look, Israel is bad guy. Why you give them bomb? Of course, because they are bad guys. Americans, they don't give for good guys weapon. Because weapon is made for bad guys. You have to be bad in Europe to be what you want to be. Why they select ISIS boys? They select just a fat guy from the street? No, a very disciplined, skinny motherfucker who trained to be a military disciplined guy, blah blah, and then propaganda. Actually, I can fucking break that fucking motherfucker skinny fuck. But European televisions, they were doing their dirty job in Syria to topple Assad, and they were saying they were making propaganda on Dutch television. Dutch television was making propaganda for ISIS boys. They are highly disciplined, highly this to scare Kurdistan people. And the same European people who ally with the Kurdistan people tell them, don't be afraid of them. And most of them are hooligans. They go to there because they hate this kind of grouping, European grouping. Literally, Europe dividing itself with different interest groups. They go to Kurdish people and they support Kurdish people. Even a Chinese fight together with Kurdish people because you see the entire domino effect of relation. And then come Bilal al-Habashi, kind of a guy who look like me, who is Islam. He come, he say, I'm Bisabashi. Every representative of the black flag pop out from every corner and conviction and radicalization. That's what happened. This is Europe. We know what Europe is. Nobody tell you the content I tell you. Nobody tell you. That was what happened then. Huh? Why would they give to a fucking lazy ass, undisciplined guy except Israel? Because Israel, you know this Benjamin Netanyahu for his election or for whatever, he'll come in United Nations with his drone. You see the bomb is filling. Because he's not reluctant. If tomorrow America say, okay, bomb the hell out of Iran, they don't see the consequence domino effect. They don't care. They'll tell you, oh, if they give a green card from Papa America and all people related to it, Israel will not retaliate. They will fucking bomb the hell out of Tehran. What do you think? So in this world, weapon is not for a good guy because it's not a toy. Its weapon is to kill people. You have to give the bad guy what you think is a bad guy or a bad guy for you. You know, you see. What do you do with the weapon you buy as Egyptian? To be a bad guy on Ethiopians or not? To tell them what to do with their own fucking resource in the country they live in? To tell them what to do with the water? To tell them where to eat, where to shit? Yeah? And do you think there is any sane brain except this prostitute intellectual who want to support financially his own ass in universities and the shit? And he cry out because he's not tenured or whatever. He talk shit. No, me. Because I know the sinister works of your intelligence, nigga. Who occupy the Mossad intelligence? Arab people. Arab. 20% of Jewish people are Arab. Moroccans are Jewish. What you talk about? Bitch ass nigga. All you Arabs who fuck around in Europe. We don't know who you are. We don't know who you are. Why? You don't know me? You never see me walking on the street? And you think this nigga don't know who you are? Why this fucking video is shadow banned? Why my video is shadow banned? Why I'm not allowed to broadcast for people? Get the fuck out, man. Sense of bitches. I'm out.